We live. Ooh, that was quick tonight.
I'm gonna share that joint.
Are we live?
Direct.
Anybody pick up a stream yet? Are we live?
I'm trying to find you right now. I'm gonna share that joint. Yeah, we live and direct.
Live. All right, we live on Facebook.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening.
Live.
What's up, peoples? How y'all doing tonight? I wish y'all.
Everybody's doing well.
How was y'all holiday weekend, everybody?
Ooh, that was quick.
I'm trying to find you right now. I'm gonna share that joint. Yeah, we live.
How you doing, Cheryl Brooks? Want to say hi to you?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening.
Hope all is well with you, Cheryl, you and Keith. And Cheryl, I'll be getting back to you about next week's show. You know the plans we have for that. So I'll give you all the details probably the next day or so, and we'll get that all sorted up. Shirley Taylor, Brown Taylor, how you doing? Good to see y'all. Keith Queen, how you doing?
All right. Well, we're going to get this thing popping tonight, y'all. We got some
Yes,
good stuff going on tonight. So let's get it cranking. Let's get it cranking.
Turn it up.
Hey, Cheryl Hunt, how you doing?
Right, the Knight Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show. How y'all doing, my folks out there?
All right. Hope everybody's well out there.
I'm in direct tonight.
Players.
Hey.
Showtime. How y'all feeling?
All right.
Beautiful, everybody's lovely.
Let me introduce y'all to our show's host. Dick Gregory Knight started doing this, I don't know, about 8-9 months ago. Q, you started this?
Yeah, about maybe 6 months ago, something like that.
And what the heck is Q doing on Facebook? It's beautiful, man. I love your journey and I love your success story, man. It's awesome.
Sir.
So let me introduce y'all to Quavy Knight, the only Quavy I know in the world. Look at the brother, man. Just look fantastic. You got your hair cut, got your hair did.
I finally got a haircut, man. My God, I needed that bang.
Yes, sir. So my brother been doing this. He's up there. My graphics are old. He's up to like 96 pounds weight loss. So it's okay to
get 3-digit.
Okay to give him a like and a love on that. His favorite.
All right.
He likes a 20-hour fast with the 4-hour feeding window. We'll break that down in a little bit. Exercise 4 to 5 times a week. And he does not drink alcohol, and he's on no prescribed medication. So give it up for this brother doing a fantastic job.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce my co-host, my little brother, Lenny Knight. And guys, I say this every week, and I'm going to continue to say it for the rest of my life. Lenny just loves helping people. He's that type of person. Lenny's just an all-around good guy. Lenny's lost 50 pounds in the last year last couple of years from intermittent fasting. His favorite protocol is a 20-hour fast with a 4-hour eating window, just like my own. Lenny exercises 4 or 5 times a week. You'll see Lenny out there running and doing other exercises. His diet is 70% vegetarian, 30% pescatarian. He will have a drink from here and there, some wine and stuff every now and then. He doesn't smoke, and he's on no prescribed medication, which is a beautiful thing.
One of y'all, thank you, Q. One of y'all, either Lisa or I think Q or Arden, just turn your volume down because your audio is feeding back through Facebook, and I don't want to get people confused. So just make that adjustment, please. So,
I was muted. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Cheryl Brooks, for that. Marcel Carver, what's up? Marcel jumped on. My man, Jesse James. jumped on as well. So anyway, y'all, our show consultant, let me introduce them and keep things moving. Mr. Arden Smith. Can you break down Arden Smith for me real fast?
Man, my main man, Arden Natural Smith. Arden is in the maintenance phase of the weight loss is concerned. He's intermittent fasted for many years. He was one of the forerunners of this thing among our little group here. His favorite method is an 18-hour fast with a 6-hour feeding window. Arden exercises 3 to 4 times a week. He's a 6th-degree black belt, guys. He's 100% vegetarian, and he was introduced into the Hall of Fame at the Naval Academy for his karate expert sports. So give it up for Mr. Arden Natural Smith, guys. Come on, let's give it up. Give him some likes and love. Give him some likes and love, guys.
Yes, sir.
I just want to add one other thing, guys. Arden is a wealth of knowledge and a real resource, and we are very fortunate to have him as a consultant on this show.
Absolutely. And another one of our consultants that couldn't make it tonight is good brother Clifton Coates out of Seat Pleasant, Maryland area. Clifton was a director of career services at the University of District of Columbia. He's a longtime member of the Masonic fraternity. He's been fasting and a vegan for over 47 years, even though the screen says 45. Clifton is a tremendous motivational speaker and an orator. He's wrote a book and has a podcast show called For Those Who Knows Me Well. Spoke at various functions like the NAACP, the Urban League, and the Broad County in Florida, Chamber of Commerce, and many, many more. We're sorry the brother couldn't make it tonight, but we can't get him every week, you know what I mean? So we're thankful he is a consultant for the show, though. So, like I said, every Tuesday night, Q, right?
Every Tuesday night, guys. Intermittent fasting with the Knight brothers. And we're so glad to have you on board tonight. We're looking forward to just sharing tonight's episode with you. We think you're going to find it a real resource and a lot of information that you can use in your everyday life.
But before we do that, we got to send shout outs to this community is growing. I got running out of room on this.
Wow, it really is growing, man, I must say. I mean, we now have Cheryl Hunt and Joanne Jenkins and Cheryl Brooks, Vonda Franklin and Ashley Knight and Deborah Wilson, Wilson, Gloria Lane, well, Paris Lane, I should say, excuse me, Paris, Wanda Powell Burton, Gladys Young.
It is growing like crazy, man.
Kimberly Queen.
I'm running out of room, Q.
Yes, sir. Tori Walton, Charlisa Folks, Lisa Powell Johnson.
Give it up for the ladies, y'all.
And many others. Come on, let's give it up for them. Let's give it up for them. Give them some likes and love.
What about the brothers? The brothers starting to grow too. We still trailing the ladies, though. The ladies got more people doing this than us. But that's all right. Introduce these good brothers, Q.
Yeah, we have my main man, my good buddy, I call him my little brother, Keith Colbert. We have a good friend of yours, Sean Strain. We have your son, Leonard Delaney Knight. Joe Cobb, who's a friend of all of ours. Carlos and Lenny Rice, who are our twin nephews in Baltimore. LaCane Herndon down in the ATL, whose family as well. Arden Smith, John Stevens, and there are others who are going to be coming on board very, very shortly. But these are just some of the fellas who are rocking the fasting.
Vonda's giving some love. Thank you, Vonda.
Hey, Vonda, how you doing, Vonda? How you doing, Lisa Slade? How you doing? Iona, please tell me how I pronounce your name correctly. We're debating, and we say it's Ilona Downs Hicks. I hope we're doing that correct. And the newbies this week. Introduce our newbies, Arden. Unmute yourself, son.
Oh, yeah, my classmate, Jackie Mason. Everybody knows the illustrious Miss White. She's related to the Knight brothers. And Miss Downs Hicks in the building. Love you. Appreciate you guys and looking forward to moving forward. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't say my daughter's name, Homatibe, is on board and rocking.
All right, we'll have her on. We'll have her on there next week to picture up.
No,
all 4 of them have started with the 16 and 8 protocol, which is a 16-hour fast with an 8-hour eating window. And congrats to all of them. And we give them likes and love as well.
Give them a like and love.
Give them some likes and love. They deserve it.
It's not easy to start this, so give these people some likes and loves, and welcome to the community, folks. Welcome to the community. So the big question is, Drum roll, please.
Who wants to be next?
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Raise your hand if you want to be next.
Yes, sir. So this is your time to tell us if you want to be next. And if that's your challenge, type your name in there and say, I want to be next. And we'll have you on the screen next week to welcome you to the community. All right?
Yes, indeed.
Lisa Slade, you want to be next? I hear you, Lisa Slade. I'm gonna invite you in.
Lenny will volunteer you, so be careful.
Folks, we want to let y'all know that we are happy to finally have our YouTube page up and running.
Yes,
Please
sir.
go to the YouTube page and jump on and subscribe to the page. It helps the show. It helps, I mean, we're still funding the show, so it helps us if you go to the YouTube page and, you know, if the content is bringing value to you, help us out by jumping into the YouTube page. And this is what the YouTube page looks like. It's Knight Brothers IF Show Night is what it is. So jump on there and subscribe. We do have a couple subscribers. I got no subscribers on the screen. We got a few subscribers so far.
You have to update that screen.
The wrong picture up there, man.
You have to update that screen, brother.
Surely do. So
you'll see it grow week to week.
So this week, we socially hit a subject every week. And this week, socially speaking, we want to know your reaction to the corona crisis. You know, so you can type 1 or yes, or type 2 for no, but we ask you a couple different questions we want to know. The first question is, did the shutdown shut you down?
It's a good
Hit a 1 if a yes, 2 if it's a no.
You know, it's kind of crazy. I just remember when the shutdown first started, you know what I mean? I think nobody really paid it much attention. It kind of eased into it. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing I know, it was all over the place everywhere. And I was like, I work in a grocery store. I started buying stuff I ain't need. I was just going crazy with it. I don't know about y'all. Next question. Did any of y'all become junk food, Netflix junkie?
Oh, I did. I certainly did. The Ozarks and many other shows became staples for me, stuff that I would never previously bothered to watch. But with so much time on my hands, I became a bit of a Netflix junkie, I must say.
Yeah, me too. Ozarks.
I had my share.
I love the Ozarks. I even went back here and watched this old show. I never watched it, called Breaking Bad, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, yes indeed. You know what I mean? Very nice show. Did anybody out there find any new talents, make some money out there? Anybody go start doing Instacart or something like that, or you know, some odd jobs to make some extra cash? Because people were strapped for cash out there now. Let's not.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
Anybody do anything like that out there?
I jumped into some crypto scenario with.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
And Lisa, did you do anything?
I know Lisa was grinding.
Got into gardening.
Okay, all right, good. We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
And then you don't have to run to the store. Lisa's a genius.
I don't know about all that. I'm learning as I go along.
Well, I guess that answers the next question for you, Lisa. What new hobby did you find? And you got into gardening. We're gonna really get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm trying to teach myself how to play the guitar.
Oh, awesome. That's beautiful.
Awesome.
You talking to one of the best players in Annapolis over there, Lenny Knight. Used to be the best.
Really?
Girl.
Yeah,
well, I need some lessons.
Lisa Slade said she did Instacart. And did you make masks, Lisa? You made masks?
Making masks, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
And
y'all go
Miss
support
Brooks is out there gardening. Or she said, ooh, gardening. Definitely.
So
Vonda Franklin says, good job, Lisa.
Oh, thank you.
So we got to kick the disclaimer because we are not physicians and this show is not providing medical advice for any ailments or medical conditions. If you do have a medical condition, we strongly suggest that you seek the advice of a medical professional, healthcare provider, prior to attempting any of this information that is shown on these broadcasts. So we're just going to throw that out there, all right? So let's keep it moving. We got 3 subjects that we normally hit every week. The first subject is Secrets in the Garden. Y'all remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
Who's that, Billy Ocean or somebody?
No, that was
No, I think that was Albie Shore.
Albie Shore.
It was a combination.
Was it Isaac Hayes or somebody else?
No, it was Albie Shore.
We all over the place.
Who sang
the
Secret
barge.
Garden?
Who knows the barges?
Help us out, y'all. Who sang Secret Garden?
Yeah.
Next,
I thought
Now
it was a
before-
Quincy Jones compilation of a couple of artists, is what I thought it was.
that's what it
3
was.
men. As Vonda said, 3 men.
Yeah, Quincy Jones, and he had James Ingram and a couple of others singing on the song. I think that's
Oh,
what.
she was right.
I'll be
3 men.
sure.
Yep, yep. And the next subject we're going to talk about is Dick Gregory Speaks. We're going to break a little information out, a couple of videos on that. And number
One of those the barges.
probably was. And then number 3, the facts, just some facts, some basic facts we're going to kick you.
The
But
fact-
before that, we got to break down what is intermittent fasting. What is this thing, Q? Can you help us out, brother?
Come
Help
on,
us.
Q, give us the breakdown.
Well, the basics for intermittent fasting are the following. I mean, it's just time restricted eating is what intermittent fasting basically breaks down to. And for our basic beginner, we always like to have a starting window of 16 hours fasting with an 8-hour feeding window. You can consume foods during the fasting. You can have drinks, but with no calories, such as water or black coffee. And sleeping hours take up a big portion of the fasting time. Your feeding window consists of anywhere from 1 to 8 hours eating period. Plan how many times you plan to eat. Don't pig out. Eat sensibly. You know, don't, because it's your feeding window, don't go crazy. Retrain your appetite to eat in a little more disciplined way. Usually, like I said, we try to start people with a 16-hour fasting window and an 8-hour feeding window. But others extend it out to 18 hours of fasting with a 6-hour feeding window, or the protocol, which I use on a regular basis, 20-hour fasting window with a 4-hour eating window, or my original start place, OMAD, which was 1 meal a day. That means I eat one time in a 24-hour period. But those are your basic facts about intermittent fasting. Now, here's the power by the hour. This is what happens during intermittent fasting, guys. In the first 8 to 10 hours, your insulin spike is returning back down to baseline. Remember I told you guys your baseline spikes every time you eat. Well, it takes about 8 to 10 hours for the baseline to come back down. And that's the glucose is using from the meal you just finished eating. At around anywhere from after the 10-hour mark or more, up to 12 hours, growth hormone kicks in and fat burning begins. In other words, your body is then finding another source of energy. And what your body uses for that secondary source of energy is your stored fat. During hours 12 to 14, the body is really using that stored energy. It's kicking into overdrive then. And all of your action, everything that you do, your body is running off of that fat. In the 14 to 16-hour point, the body starts to switch from glucose to ketones for fuel. And once again, you're burning that fat, and that's why you're losing weight. At the 16-hour mark to 18 hours, the thing we talk about, autophagy, kicks in. That's when your cells start to clean itself, and you're eating the toxins away. You're getting rid of all those old and damaged cells and restoring those. And 18, 20 hours, your body primary ketones stored as fat and are used for fuel. And that's what we're doing. The 24 to 36-hour fast. Ghrelin, hunger hormone, starts declining. Your brain neurons repair. Inflammation reduces and more healing. In other words, some of those things that are going on with your body starts to repair itself physically. You start to think clearer. Your hunger actually goes down for that extended period as well. And inflammation reduces. So it makes less time for diseases to enter the body. All right, Lenny, so what's tonight?
Tonight is ladies' night too. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We got a wonderful young lady on that we want to introduce y'all to. We were supposed to have 2 guests on, but our number 1 subject is secrets in the garden. How can this help your fasting? We had 2 special guests, like I said. One of them couldn't make it because they had a personal situation, so y'all send some prayers out for Miss Iris Brown. She's Iris Brown Sharp. She's okay, but she has a personal situation, so please send some prayers and some love her way.
Yes, please do. Please do.
And our second guest is Miss Lisa Rivera, who's on tonight. So we're going to get into gardening with these ladies. I do want to show you what Iris did do, because she was prepared to be on the show tonight, but something came up at the last minute. So she is a native of Annapolis, Maryland. Most of you guys know her out there. She studied at the Fleet Business School. She's a media assistant at Anne Arundel County Schools. Very deeply rooted in her faith, you know what I mean? Carries her a long way. She's a big time Raven fan, even though I won't hold that against her. And she's, y'all know I'm not a Raven fan, but no, I like Ravens, but I got other team. She's a long time love for garden. And y'all give us some likes and love. And
come on, let's give it up for her. Let's give it up for Iris in her absence.
And some prayers tonight.
She's good people.
Definitely.
Keep her in her prayers, guys.
So let's actually visit Iris's garden.
Good morning. My name is Iris. I have been gardening since I was 9 years old. I started with my grandparents, one on each side of my family. My grandmother taught me the love of flowers, my grandfather the love of vegetables. So here we have some vegetables in my garden. We have some tomatoes. We have some eggplants in there. We have some kale. We have some Swiss chard over here that's similar to spinach. I've been protecting my eggplants because something has been eating them. We have some mint over here. Yeah. I garden because it's very relaxing, it's peaceful. You know, it does so much for the soul. You know, you can relax, you know, you're just out here doing your thing with earth, with nature. You know, you're connecting back, and it's a lot of good energy. I have some peppers over here. I leave a shovel everywhere I go just in case I want to plant something or move something. There's some peppers there. There's some jalapeno peppers here. I don't put any chemicals on my plants because I just think it's better that way. It's more healthy. Let's see, over here, we have some mint in a bucket. You can start off easy. I have raised beds because I don't want to dig into the ground. It's a little hard in a little clay. So you have to add different dirt to it, but it's easy to do. I have flowers also all around. Some have, you know, died out, but they're still coming up. There's a pot over here. I'm getting ready to start. I'm always creating different things in my space. You know, just want to fill everything up with beauty. And I also love to add a little art to it, make it a little whimsical. The kids love it. So do I. And I'm still working on something there. I just laid down some bricks to add a little more beauty to my garden. So this is a piece of gardening I like to share with you. I'm not really a big talker. Here we go.
So yeah, give it up for Iris.
Let's give us some likes and loves, guys. Phenomenal job by Miss Iris Brown Sharps. Phenomenal job.
Yep, she has a wonderful garden that she's doing. She's built in her backyard. And our next guest, who's also has a green thumb.
Oh yeah.
And I want y'all to give her some likes and love. Q, why don't you kick her ballistics here?
Yes, Lisa Rivera is a native of Annapolis, Maryland. She loves gardening and helping other people. Lisa is multi-talented. She has a lot of things that she does, but gardening is something that took hold recently, and she really has fallen in love with it. She's also a loyal Baltimore Ravens fan. Come on, let's give it up for that. Come on, give us some likes and loves, guys, as we introduce Lisa to everyone here in the audience tonight.
It was football.
Say hello, Lisa. Say hi, honey.
Hi.
All right.
But you know
likes
what,
and loves, guys.
Quavy?
Yes.
I hate to tell you, I'm not a Ravens fan.
What? What?
No. I like New York Giants.
Team? Let me get this answer. Who's your team?
Giants.
Oh, I can accept that. At least you didn't say Redskins or you didn't say Steelers, so I'm okay with that.
Hey, man.
I can accept the Giants.
It won't be the Redskins for much longer. That's what
Yeah.
I know, right?
Likes and loves for that.
All right, let's visit Lisa's gardens, guys. Let's visit her garden.
So today I'm working on the other side of my garden. I have a potted garden and I have a little garden that's in the ground. And look what I discovered. Look, I have fresh string beans that are ready for the picking. Look at that. Look at that. Look. I was over here weeding and I found my string beans. You know, trying to get up all the grass. That's why I didn't want to do right in the ground. I didn't want to do the weeding.
Mm.
And I didn't plan on weeding. So I don't even have my gloves on. So I'm really gonna have to scrub my hands. Like blood, sweat, and tears. And look at the okra on the other side. And look at the grapevine, it's really growing.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. And these cucumbers are doing something over here too.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm gonna have me some fresh string beans. Hey everyone, look at Carmelita. She just started her garden today. I came to help her out. And look what she had. She had tomatoes, she has a blueberry bush, she has some oregano, and she has all her herbs in one pot. She has sweet potatoes and green beans, beets and broccoli. She had onions and she had peppers, cucumbers, squash. Yep. And you got some spinach to plant, some lettuce to plant, and some carrots. Yep, and some carrots. Yeah. Thank you. Finally, after a year and a half, 2 years, I wanted to start a garden.
Little girl said, "You got blueberries?"
Come on, let's give it up for Lisa. Come on, let's give her some likes and loves, guys. Great job, Lisa. Great video. Come on, let's give it up for her, guys.
Yeah, so now we want to get into a little discussion with Lisa to find out what it is about her garden and what about gardening and how we can help some other folks out there about this whole situation. So let me see if I can stop sharing screen right now, Q, and let's talk to Lisa.
Okay, great. Lisa, once again,
Hey.
you can hear me. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right, welcome to the show. And you know, we're glad to have you on tonight. We wanted to have you on in concert with Iris, but I know you're going to hold it down anyway. Right. But I wanted to ask you a few questions about gardening itself. First question was, what really sparked your interest in gardening? What was it that really sparked your interest? And just tell us a little bit about what really got you interested in it.
My dad did. You know, he gardens all the time.
Okay.
And about 2 years ago, I started gardening with my father, but I started small and it was in the ground. And I didn't like weeding.
Oh, okay.
He would have me out there weeding. And last year I didn't get to do a garden because I had surgery, so I couldn't do it last year. And this year, when everything just happened, I said, you know what? I'm not trusting the grocery stores. I'm going to grow my own stuff and I'm going to do it in pots.
Wow.
And my father still wanted me to do it in the ground. And I said, nope. So he called me Frank Sinatra. Because I told him I was going to do it my way.
I love that.
My garden in the ground, my garden in the buckets and pots are growing better than the garden in the ground.
Oh, great. Great. That gives you a frame of reference. Second question, what is it that you find most enjoyable about gardening? Name some of the things you
so
find
much
enjoyable.
peace. It just brings you so much peace. I mean, I could stay out there all day long. Like when it was raining, I was like out there in a thunderstorm yesterday.
Wow.
To check my plants.
Wow.
My mother was like, come in here, come here. I'm like, no. She says it's lightning. I'm like, no, I got to check my string beans. I don't want to, you know.
Yeah, I have watched some of your videos and it just seems that when you're out there in the garden, you seem to be at peace. I noticed there seemed to be a calmness and sereneness when you're out there in your garden. And you can see it comes across that you truly enjoy it, which is a great thing because I guess it can be like therapy in a way. Next question for you. Has there been anything that has surprised you as far as gardening concerned, in the positive or negative, either way?
in a positive way, you know, you get to see what you're doing, you know, the fruits of your labor.
Awesome.
That's
yes.
a positive. I still don't like weeding. I still have a little bit of weed I have to get. Sometimes my pots will get too, I guess the roots. So I had to drill more holes into the containers because they hold too much water.
Yes.
So I lost a few pepper plants, but it's okay because I have plenty more. Like today, I just found I thought I had 2 watermelons. I have 3 watermelons.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So I had to put down like a little blanket on the ground because it's in a pot and the watermelons don't like being on concrete.
Oh, right.
So I had to lift it up and put a little blanket up underneath my watermelon. My father said, "You're crazy."
No, you're right.
Yep. Now, Lisa, another question I wanted to ask you, and you and I had some prior conversation about this, and you expressed to me, you know, just how much you really enjoy doing this. And my question was about long-term goals with gardening. I know you had expressed some interest. You said if you could do this as a vocation, you would certainly welcome the opportunity to do that. So just expound upon that a little if you could.
Oh, I would. I would do this for a living. I mean, it just brings you so much joy and peace just being out there amongst nature. Sometimes last Sunday I fell asleep in the garden.
Wow.
Just watching the garden.
Yes.
And I'll put on my little jazz that I listen to on Sirius XM. Not that I'm plugging them.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just so relaxing. I said, you get high. I mean, it's like you can see the energy coming off your plant.
Wow, that's
because you're just so connected, you know.
That's awesome.
It's a whole lot to say
It's a
about.
really good feeling.
Yeah. Hey guys, I want to. If any of the audience remember the movie Baby Boy, and if you remember the movie Baby Boy, there's a scene in which his mother is out in her garden, and that was kind of her peaceful place. Yes. I remember I can recall her sitting out there with her glass of wine in her garden, and that was her secret place. And it seemed like that's pretty much the same for you. So one of your long-term goals for gardening is to continue and expand your garden and possibly even teach it. I see that you were giving some tips to Squeezy, Carmelita Mako. Would you like to develop that as something you'd like to do in the future?
Oh yeah, I don't mind helping anyone with getting their garden started. I want to eventually go into doing a garden with just water. You know, no soil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Well, you sent me a picture of I think, was it a sweet potato or a white potato?
It's a sweet potato.
It was a sweet potato. I wish we had that. We don't have that tonight, but maybe we'll show that next time you come on board. And just to see the results of that was fascinating. The last question I have for you tonight, and this one ties in back to what we do on the show. I want to talk to you about the foods that you've pulled from your garden so far, that you've eaten and prepared from your garden, and how do you feel about it in comparison to fruits and vegetables from a grocery store, and the difference in taste? Could you talk about that a little bit? Compare the taste as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, they taste so much better. Like I did some purple kale and some collard greens, and you talking about something good. It was so good. And just today is Monday, Sunday, I juiced some purple kale.
Wow.
With apples,
juiced
and it was really good.
All right, yeah, I like that. Okay.
So, you know, I like juicing, and I told one of my coworkers, I said, you know, instead of using milk, juice your vegetables and use that with your protein mix.
Wow, that's a good thought there. That's a good thought. Well, last question / statement for you, Lisa. When can I get some samples?
Oh shoot! Just let me know when you want some.
All right, cool. I had to get that.
I have some bok choy that's ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew the bok choy, but I don't know how to cook it.
Oh man, I can stir fry that. I'll hook it up. Don't worry, I will hook it up.
Hook that up.
I will hook it up.
No problem.
Hey guys, do you have any additional questions for Lisa before we move on?
Type them in the chat, and we will.
Yeah, if you have any questions for Lisa, please feel free to type them in. Roger Parker, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Hey, cousin Roger.
Yeah.
We had a couple other people join tonight as well, Q. I just want to shout out to them. And we had Sherry Tolson join.
Hey, Sherry, how you doing tonight?
Kelly Brown Taylor, Flower Blossom, Pamela,
Jackie Mason.
Yep, Pamela Green, Pamela Smith. Thank you all for joining. Y'all do me a favor, smash the like and love button
For Lisa. Give her some likes and loves, guys. She deserves
And
it.
for Iris as well, even though Iris couldn't make it tonight. So absolutely. So we want to keep moving into our next segment of the show, and it's about Dick Gregory and about speaking about water, rest, and exercise. And our consultants, Mr. Clifton Coates and consultant Mr. Arden Smith, will break down a little bit about this video. So.
And you need somebody to test the water. Once the company knows you're going to be testing the water, they would less be apt to put something in the water. 2, get a dog or a cat and put the water down. They don't drink it. There's something wrong with it. See, a dog or a cat, and this is the problem with Jimmy Jones. When they said Jimmy Jones and the people was drinking the Kool-Aid with the cyanide in it, and the cats and the dogs was dead, a dog would not drink straight Kool-Aid, unless long Kool-Aid with cyanide in it, okay? If you take water out the tap and put it for a dog or a cat, they will walk around it, not just so happen chlorine and fluorine is a gas. All gas move to a high level. And so there's a period when the dog or the cat will come and drink the water. But I would say don't drink the still water unless you're on a fast, because the still water will rob your body of minerals. Don't drink mineral water because mineral water is radioactive, but spring water is the water to drink. That's number one. The body's 97% liquid, and out of that is 85% water. Alzheimer's disease comes from lack of drinking water. The lower back problems we have come from lack of drinking water. Gallstones and kidney stones come from lack of drinking water. And then again, if someone come and told you to drink clean water, even if what they said was wrong, if it didn't do nothing for you, that would do nothing against you. You have not put anything in your body that would create any type of problem. Number 2.
So Arden, I want you to dive into this for me, because we bring different segments of the health world into our show, just to let people know that, you know, intermittent fasting is the thing that ignites the show. Yeah, it's the night, brother. But anyway, it's the thing that we focus on the show, but we like to talk about other aspects of health. So that's why we reference Dick Gregory a lot, and I'm talking about water and the aspects of water and how that connects to overall health and fasting, because it is some fasting principles. So can you break down anything that's on the screen for the folks out there?
Well, I mean, he really kind of broke it all down to his last compound, but bottom line is that we kind of overthink the fact that and overlook the fact of how important water is to us on a day-to-day basis, when our body is mostly water, and nothing works without it. Nothing moves without it, from your digestive system. If you're not hydrated, it doesn't properly move. You'll be backed up, or what they call compacted, I should say, where you're not moving your bowels, which is, you know, extremely important. And most people a lot of people are not having bowel movements on a consistent basis. Water is the first line of that defense of flushing your body. And he kind of went into it, like distilled water. If you want to extract and cleanse your body, especially during a fasting period, and you're trying to get things out of your system, distilled water is a great way to go, because it will attract those minerals sometimes, but a lot of waste out of your system.
Toxins and things, yes.
Indeed. And you really want to look at going in and getting, like my children, they have a gallon jug of water, and on it, it's marked off by 9 o'clock, by 11 o'clock, by 2 o'clock, by 8 o'clock, you know, a whole gallon. But
funny you said that, because the next video and we got these little 1-minute videos, the next Dick Gregory goes right into that. So let's hear what he has to say.
You get up in the
Just
morning,
1 minute video, guys.
A glass of water. If you're not driving over long periods of time where you're going to need to go to the toilet, drink 2 glasses of water. When you get to wherever you're going, between that time and 11 o'clock, drink 2 more. Now you got the rest of the day to drink the other 4. Now, here's a simple law. Would a 6-month-old baby drink 8 glasses of water? No. Mothers give babies water by ounces, X amount of ounces. Well, the real game is we just say 8 ounce glasses of water. Whatever you weigh in pounds, you're supposed to drink half that in ounces. If you weigh 200 pounds, you're supposed to drink 100 ounces of water. If you weigh 1,000 pounds, you're supposed to drink 500 ounces of water. Now, let me tell you how water works. If I held up, if this was a piece of cloth, and I held it here, and I gave you a sharp hatchet, and you hit this cloth, you would tear it. If I put this cloth in a bathtub of water and you hit it, you couldn't tear it. It floats with the water. The body's the same way. If you fall, if you're injured, if you're in an automobile accident, this is why babies can fall out windows. We read about it all the time. And don't die because the water balance is there. Okay, and rest. Even when you're not sleeping, rest. And when I'm talking about rest, I'm not talking about on the phone talking. I'm talking about taking some time out every day where you just close the system down. A minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just close it down. And that rejuvenates the body. And so now we're talking about sleep and rest. We're talking about water, and we're talking about physical fitness.
My brother, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. I love that brother, man. You know, and appreciate it, you know, moving on as an ancestor, and we able to tap into him all the time. But realistically, you know, what he's talking about as far as drinking that water is imperative, and resting. And it's funny that we're doing this show at the same time we're talking about gardening, because our body's a lot of electricity. One, electricity moves very well in what? Water. And two, when you're gardening, you're out there and you're putting your hands in the earth. Sometimes people garden barefoot, and what it does is ground the body.
Yes, it does. You're absolutely
Ground
right.
yourself. And that part of that is that. That's why you hear everybody that talks about gardening says how tranquil, how peaceful, and how relaxed, because they're grounded. And that's such an important thing for us to do as human beings, because we get reconnected to Mother Earth. And without that, you know, what are we? We came from the earth. So, you know, even that rest that he was talking about, sometimes if you have a place in your yard that's cleared off, lay down on the ground, take your shoes off, stand out on the earth with your feet flat on Mother Earth. That's why it's so great to take that walk on the beach. It feels so relaxing because you're grounding yourself at the same time.
No doubt. Let's see
what
what
else third video.
Very important. And when we talk about water, Kool-Aid don't count, lemonade don't count, orange juice don't count, fresh grapefruit juice don't count. Why? Because they have to go through the digestive system. Water goes directly into the system and starts purifying the system. And also it cools the body. It's your cooling system. One of the problems we have, you know, can you imagine every year, every cell in your body, your brain has a convention, check you out. See, well, what's old brother Greg doing this year? So, well, you know, he's 15 years old and he's drinking too much Kool-Aid and he's not drinking enough water. So, okay, let's give him a warning. Let's put thirst. Where are we going to put it? Well, he got to become stupid, so let's put it right in his throat. And we ignore it. And then when you get about 60 years old, some people, 49, 50, they come every year at this meeting. They say, well, what do you think? I said, well, let's take his right to get thirsty away. There's no need wasting the time. That's Alzheimer's disease. And if you don't believe it, find people with Alzheimer's disease and ask them, when's the last time you've been thirsty? They can tell you. You lose that right.
Wow. You know, there's some real nuggets in that footage right there, man. And I wanted to make sure there are a couple of takeaways from this that people are really getting. And number one is, you need pure water, not juices, not tea, not soda, not Kool-Aid, things of that nature, but pure water is what we're talking about here. So if you're adding anything to it, particularly things of a caloric, with a caloric intake, they don't count. And don't keep ignoring God's signs. That's the other key takeaway. Don't keep ignoring his signs. People always say they didn't know illnesses were coming on. Oh, they knew, they just weren't paying attention or ignored those signs.
Well, they got a message. So
yeah, they did get a message. They did get a message.
Your body told us, definitely.
Well, I do have a question for you. What about boiling your water?
What was that?
What about boiling your water?
Naturally, you want to jump on that?
I mean, boiling your water is very good indeed. And I mean, even the fact of how you take your water. Cold water takes longer for your body to absorb it because first, before it can absorb it, it has to heat the water up before it'll even take it into its system. It's almost your cells act like you when you jump into a cold pool. You don't jump in a cold pool and just start doing this. You jump into that cold pool and you're tight. And
Right.
the cells do the same thing. It's a shock and awe kind of situation, and they tighten up. So by that tightening up, that tightens up your arteries, and everything. And so that slows the blood flow in the system.
Yes.
When you heat your water up, and there's multiple reasons why you want to heat the water up, especially if you don't have a filter. And I would advise everybody to kind of look at some sort of basic type of filtration and also some ways to test your water. But as far as the temperature is concerned, when you heat your water up, it has a tendency to come into the body, and studies show that it kicks your metabolic rate up. So you start burning energy a little faster, and it absorbs
Much faster.
much faster.
Okay, because I boil it and then I run it through the Brita water system.
Okay, not hot though. You let it cool again before you roll it back? Okay, because that hot charcoal, it messes your charcoal up. But that's great. That's a double filtration situation.
Lenny, I want to say hello to Butch Allen, who's come on board, to Gladys Young, to to Sheila Loving Me Davis, to
Mamie
Pierre Parker, to Mamie Murray, to Kimberly Queen, Jack Abrams, and many others who come on board. We just want to acknowledge you guys and say hello to you. Come on, let's give them some loves and likes.
Pierre Parker, we'd like to get you on the show.
We need Pete on here
to talk about exercise, Pierre. We need to holler. I mean, talk to you offline about that, man. Jack Abrams, thanks for joining in. So we're about coming down to the end, wrapping up tonight, but we did want to talk about some aspects of a little bit more about water. So we want to break down these last screens or two. The facts, number 3, the facts of water. And I always like to refer to this book that Cliff likes to talk about, Back to Eden by Jethro Kloss. I mean, the book was written back in 1939, but it has principles that still apply to today, if not, even stronger for today's world that we live in. And I like to just quote a couple of things. I looked at the pages that dealt with water, and there's a quote that I pulled out of the book that said the 6 best doctors in the world are sunshine, air, rest, water was one of them, exercise, and a good diet.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, I mean, just the quote itself, if you think about it, I mean, it sounds so simplistic, but he's talking about the 6 best doctors in the world, and everybody's running to the doctors for this and that and everything. And if you could, that means that you could doctor yourself. And Q, you live an example of that. I mean, what you've been doing, intermittent fasting over the last couple of months and everything, man, is absolutely amazing. Another great quote, Arden.
It is possible to live several weeks without water, but only a few days without food, but only a few days without water. So we can fast for a long time, but you go without water, you won't last long at all.
That shows you the importance, does it not?
No question.
Staying hydrated. And I've had people tell me they don't like drinking water. Well, they better learn to love it because it is a necessary, essential thing for the body to be hydrated.
Well, let's re-examine that. That is like the equivalent of somebody saying that I don't like to breathe.
Yes, exactly.
Both of those you need to live.
So, and that's what the next slide says. Next to oxygen, water is the most important element to preserve life. And that's not just your life, it's plants, animals, and everything. So, I mean, God put water here for a reason, you know what I mean? Utilize it, So.
And that ties back to what we were talking about earlier, the gardening subject. Yes. Plants and vegetables, they need what? They need water.
Water.
As well.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing.
Yes, they do.
When you look at plants, they need what we need.
Yes.
They need water, they need potassium, they need charcoal, they need all of those minerals and stuff and everything we need, just because we're a reflection of the planet. So we have what the planet has in it. Yes, we do have gold in us also, magnesium and everything else. So they need exactly what we need.
Yep.
Lenny, we do have some questions tonight. We have a couple of minutes, so we want to take on some of the questions we're getting tonight. Pamela Smith says drinking water, hot or warm water early before morning resting is a good laxative. Iona, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. We debated this. Ilona, I hope that's how it's pronounced, says she drinks her water at room temperature. She really doesn't like cold water, which is, that's a perfect way to drink it anyway.
That's best way to drink it. Yep.
Yeah. Another question I had. Jackie Mason says, are you drinking too much water at one time or sipping you to help you get over that? You want to drink that a little bit at a time. I think she was responding to Tyra Parker's saying that she gets bloated when she drinks too much water, and maybe she needs to take it in smaller sips or something of that nature, smaller doses.
Yeah. Tara, Tiara, I don't know if she's the one. I would encourage you, if you feel bloated when you drink water, then maybe decrease some of the other things that you might be drinking during the course of the day. If you're like coffee or juices or teas or that type of stuff, try to supplement those drinks that you had with your food with water. So if you're drinking tea with your food, drink water with your food instead. And that's a good way to get that food in. And then another way to get water in is to drink water-based, eat water-based foods like fruits and some
watermelon, things of that nature. Yeah.
Vegetables that have a higher water content can actually get your water supply that you need as well.
That's true.
So, because it's important for your body, because that's when your body starts breaking down when it does not have enough water. And what's up, Eddie B? Eddie Brown, my main man.
Eddie B.
Best comedian in DC, my brother.
The man's pin game is, so if you need jokes, pay that man.
Man,
is there any additional questions, guys? Just type your questions right now. If you have any additional questions, maybe we can get those answered before we go off the air. But if not, we'll answer them after we go off the air.
It's very important while we're talking about water, the pH. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the pH levels of water. Any water that's pH of 7 or higher is considered alkaline, and that's what we want to go for. There's a lot of information in reference to alkaline water and the benefits of it. I would challenge everyone to look that up. But most importantly, it's to get your body in an alkaline state. Because if you get acidic, which is anything under 7%, and you push a higher level of acidity in your system, that's when you become diseased or body dis-ease. And the funny thing about it is it doesn't take much to tilt that off. I've read that one 12-ounce soda, nobody drinks a 12-ounce soda in the age of big gulps. Kicks up your acidic level 10,000 times what the body's necessary level is to maintain.
Wow, that's a fascinating stat there. So really fascinating stat. Actually, it's kind of a frightening stat and as well.
Yeah. Most people are grabbing a 32-ounce, and you can't go in the store and get anything less than a 20-ounce soda.
And Arden, in today's society too, just speaking of that, your pH level and how alkaline water helps your alkalinity within your body. You think about this virus that's going on, because when your body is in an acidic state, it's a good petri dish. It's a petri dish for all kinds of diseases to start in your body.
That's true. I can tell when my body is like that.
Yes, you most definitely, and it's dietary related to diet. And what happens is it comes out in some form or fashion: headache, knee joints, inflammation, runny nose. Fever, all the things that you don't need right now. So
that's true.
If you want to combat some of the stuff that's going on, it's just a lot of naturopathic ways for you to do so. And some of the books when I was reading Back to Eden, one of the things that says that disease starts in your gut, in your intestines.
Yes,
that's mostly where your food is. So I just encourage you to learn a few things about it. We got a lot of good information to show. I'm gonna keep things going on because it's getting late in the show and it's getting to that hour we got to close out. But I do want to thank our guests that came on today.
Come on, let's give them some likes and loves, guys. Come on, they deserve it. Lisa, you deserve it. Come on, let's give them some likes and loves.
Thank you.
Hey, kid, you're a wonderful guest tonight, and you know we're gonna have you back on soon. One of the things I always
like can show you my watermelon.
All right, great. That would be great. One of the things we always like to do before we close out, we like to tease future shows. And next week, we plan to do something a little different, a little interesting. We're going to have a roundtable discussion. We're going to have maybe up to 10 guests on, and we're going to talk about their experiences with intermittent fasting. And there's going to be some of you guys who are right on there with us now. And we're going to discuss the pros and cons, the likes and dislikes of intermittent fasting, the things that you've found interesting about it. And 2 weeks from now, we may have Mr. Pierre Parker on, hopefully, and we're going to talk about exercise. And in 3 weeks, we're going to put together something really special. I don't want to give that one away yet until I get confirmation of it. Okay?
Yep. So we want to thank y'all for joining. A couple people jumped in late. Kimberly Queen, Tyra Dunsker.
Keith
What's up,
Colbert.
Keith Colbert? What's up,
Keith
brother?
Colbert, how you doing, brother? What's going on, Moody?
Renee Clark jumped in. William John Anderson jumped on tonight. Definitely Cheryl Brooks for always joining in, and Vonda Franklin and Cheryl Hunts of the world. And look, we just want to thank y'all for joining in. I always say this at the end of every show. We talking about a subject matter on this show that is not a sexy, not a sexy subject to talk about.
Not at all. Not at
Hold on,
all.
hold on, hold on. This is the only subject that's gonna get you sexy. What you talking
That is true. That is true, my brother.
Say that again, bro. Say that again.
Sexy.
Man,
Thank you for having me on.
Hashtag.
help me bring
man.
it back. Help me bring it back.
Yeah. So, but we talk about health, and I know sometimes as a community, as a people, that's the last darn thing that we really want to be talking about. But you know, here we just love people. We love y'all. We love our family. We love our community. We just want people to take a little bit more, thought into doing that as they move through these situations, particularly in the light of what's going on out here in the world.
Yes,
And we don't want to lose people unnecessarily. If it's your time to go, I always say, I don't have to help myself into the ground. You know what I mean? I'd rather you stay 6 feet from me, so we both don't have to stand 6 feet deep.
Feet under.
So,
I like that.
with that being said, peace and love. Love y'all and love.
Thank y'all. Thank everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
next time. Good night. Great job, Lisa. Good night. Good job, Arden. Good job,
All
Lenny.
right, good night.
All right. Good night, everybody. Talk to you soon.